Here we go! And we are live! Back again. Another day. Another Monday. Another stream. Yo! Look at all you guys that are in here already. Jackaroo, a big one. Rudy the Shiny Hunter, Vicky, Mead, everyone for tuning in already. Thank you so much. I apologize. I scheduled this stream to go up at noon, and we're starting at 12:07. Couple minutes late, but I was in the zone. I was editing some shorts, and I've been editing shorts and TikToks and stuff, and oh my god! Did I make a sick one just before? I was like, dude, I was doing this so good. I had the idea in my head. Like, there was, like, the thumbnail for my video the other night. Like, I made that thumbnail so long ago, and it was, I'm laying in bed, going to bed, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, dude, this is an awesome idea for a thumbnail. And I'm just like, when I have that idea, I just have to capitalize on it. Because if I like don't do it right away, I'm gonna forget about it and it's gone. And I had an idea for a TikTok, I made it right away. So I made all that stuff. I was doing that. That's why the stream's a couple minutes late. But here we go. We're doing a tier list once again. We haven't done a tier list in a while. It has been a little bit. I will note that. And the plan is for today. We're having 3 streams today. Yes, you heard that correct. There will be 3 streams today. So first we're doing the Johto tier list here. I'm doing this. I don't plan on this taking, like, I normally stream about 4 hours right now. I don't plan on this taking 4 hours long. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do this whole tier list here. Once we're done with this, we have a shiny hunt we're going to start doing. We will move on over to that shiny hunt. Then once that shiny hunt is, or not once that shiny hunt's done, once it gets to around like 4 p.m., typically when I end my streams, we will end that stream. And then tonight, tonight's the night. We're starting this week. There's going to be Unite streams and maybe just even streams in general pretty much every single night. Our plan is 2 streams. So here's this plan right now. Stream during the day like this. Then we have shorts going up right after the stream ends. And then we will be playing Unite at night. Some nights I might not be playing Unite. We just do shiny hunts and stuff like that. But we will be doing the Unite stream tonight. Probably go live, if I had to guess, 7:30, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, maybe 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Maybe might be a little later, might be around like, nah, probably 8 o'clock's the latest it would probably start. We'll probably go to like 10, play for about 2 hours, hour and a half to 2.5 hours. Somewhere in that range is what we will be doing. We'll be playing. Dude, I was playing the past 2 days. We were playing Unite. I was bawling out. We had such bad teammates when we were playing before. This weekend, I was bawling. I didn't stream it this weekend just because I was playing in the middle of the day. I was like, I didn't feel like firing up the stream and all that stuff. Because also, too, I posted the video, and I don't know if this is true, but I've watched YouTubers before, and, like, I watched Tim, and he always says that if he posts a video, then starts streaming, it makes the video do bad. So I'm like, I'm going to leave the video on Saturday. That's why I didn't stream when we were playing Unite on Saturday, but we were balling out. I'm almost at 1,400 ranking in the master rank. It was so much fun, and that will be tonight. After this stream here, we will be doing the, I almost said what it was, the shiny hunt, and then right now, in the meantime, we're doing another tier list, dude. I'm so hyped to do a tier list. I was thinking, like, what should we stream tomorrow? I originally was going to do Legends Arceus, but I'm like, you know what? We haven't done a tier list in so long. Let's do a tier list stream. Everyone else that's been tuning in, Dumb Blob Reborn, I'm just going to say Blob. You got a big, long name. I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much. As I'm playing Crystal. Yo, Crystal, I've never played Crystal before. The only Gen 2 game I've played is Heart Gold, or I always say Heart Gold, Soul Silver. I played Soul Silver. I've never played, like, the original, like, Gold, Silver, Crystal games. I've never played those myself. Rabbit Thor, thank you for tuning in. Half the Babymon shouldn't exist. One thing I do think is kind of odd that what Pokemon did. I mean, it is cool, though. But it's like, when I look back on it, it's things I don't necessarily love about the gens. Like, Gen 2, they added all those baby Pokemon. Like, pre-evolutions. And then, like, Gen 4, they added all the evolutions as well. Now, most of the ones in Gen 4, I'm cool with. But, like, for instance, some of them are just weird. Like, Munchlax. Like, I like Munchlax. But, like, the concept of that, like, everything's still just Snorlax. It's not like it's like, I don't know. It's just, that one's a little odd. And then a lot of the evolutions as well. Like, I think most of them are cool, but, like, I don't know how they added those in. But again, like, I feel like I'm just hating there, if I'm being honest. You guys know, I just look for any excuse to hate on Gen 4, if I'm being completely honest. Then, Captain Pikachu, thank you so much for taking the time to tune back in. I appreciate it. Hope all has been well. How there's so many members. Shout out Puffton. Puffton's been the one that's been gifting all the members, so If someone's a member in here, you're most likely got gifted a member by Puffton. And for those that want to get gifted members, in your settings, you have to turn on, like, make it so I can accept gifted memberships or something along the lines of that. There's a setting I do know you have to turn on for that to work. But, God, dude, I was putting lotion on my hands, and I accidentally bumped my microphone, and I got, like, some lotion on my microphone, on, like, the cover thing I have, and now there's just, like, a white speck on here, and it's annoying me so much. I hope you guys can probably hear that, can't you? Hope not. I don't want to mess anything up. Maybe I just spin it around so I don't have to see it. I'll just take it off. Oh, there we go. Now I don't have to see it. Perfect. Let's go. Yo, Jacket, thank you for tuning in. Elekid, Magme, Smoochum, and Tyrogue, fair enough. White Cleffa, and Igglybuff. Hey, well, we'll get into those right now. As we begin, the Pokemon Johto. I'm on the wrong one. Tier list. There we go. The Pokemon Johto. It's been a little bit since we did a tier list. Pokemon Johto tier list. We have, as always, down to the bottom, big stinky F tier. Then we have D tier, C tier, B tier, A tier, S tier, and God tier. Now, one thing I want to be kind of specific about here at the start. God tier, that's like the best one there is. For instance, when I did the Megas, I put Mega Charizard X up in God tier. Why did I put Mega Charizard X up in God tier? I feel Mega Charizard X is the best Pokemon design of all time. Or I should say, I take that back. I don't want to say it's the best because some people argue. It is my favorite Pokemon design of all time. Metagross, head and shoulders above, without a shadow of a doubt, my favorite pseudo-legendary of all time. So when I did the pseudo-legendary tier list, Metagross was up in God tier. One thing before I keep rambling, I just want to check the audio real quick. Make sure everything sounds good for you guys.
Like, how much room do you really
Whoa! YouTube just pulled up, just started playing stuff right away. Let's see. Yo, the card collector, please don't copyright my ass. Oh, sorry for swearing, because I just saw your short was playing as I opened up YouTube. Here we go. Alright, there we go. Sounds good to go. And let's go. Now, you ranking my look or the abilities? How I look at it, honestly, is just, like, overall. Like, is it good? Is it not? We've done a whole bunch of these tier lists before. They're actually my most viewed streams of all time. Like, if you go on my channel, I might actually be able to show you guys. Now, since I do these on my iPad, by the way. I think I can just show you guys. Let me go over to YouTube real quick. Give me one second. Yeah, so I'm on YouTube. Look. So this is my YouTube channel right here. I'm on YouTube. I go to live, and I go to popular. Look at this. All of my most popular streams are these tier list streams. There's the shiny hunts in there, but, like, look at that. The majority of them are all these tier list streams. Look at the first one. Pseudo-legendary one got 1,900 views. Every Paradox Pokemon, 800 views. Like, that's insane for a stream. Like, typically this stream's around, like, 100 views. Like, we'll go to live over here, latest. Like, look, 115, 171, 62, 113, 120, 159. Like, it's right around 100 views normally. But these tier lists, I mean, you guys seem to love them. So, we will be doing some more of these here for a little bit. I like this. I like doing these tier lists because it gives me the opportunity to do, like, 2 streams in one. We don't have to sit here and just do one thing the whole time. I keep going to the wrong scene. There we go, the tier list one. So it looks all nice. There was one thing. Nope, everything's good. Actually, no, everything's good to go. Totodile. Why is Totodile already in here? There you go. So we're just gonna go. How about just in order? In order of the decks. So here we have the Johto Pokemon. Now, I'm on Tier List Maker. I don't know what these extra things are at the bottom that say gameplay aesthetic. So we're just going to ignore those. There are some Megas in there. I'm not going to include the Megas because we already ranked Megas in a separate tier list. I am just ranking this based on Gen 2 Pokemon. So if I rank, say I put, Murkrow in God tier and say Murkrow's my favorite Pokemon. When I put Murkrow up there, I'm not saying Murkrow's my favorite Pokemon out of necessarily every Pokemon there is. We're ranking this based on Gen 2.
one of the best Gen 2 Pokemon there are. You can take into account anything about the Pokemon. I try not to take into account the shiny too much. If there's a really close one, we'll typically use the shiny as the tiebreaker. But for the most part, it's just like looks. Where's it been in the anime? Does it have cool cards? Is it in other games such as Unite? Is it useful in like VGC and that type of battling and stuff? Is it cool in the main story? Like, and also too, mainly just the looks of the Pokemon with how cool they look. And to start off, we have Chikorita. Now, Chikorita, I've always liked, and you might be thinking, why are you looking around real quick? I used to have a Chikorita plush. I don't know where it is. Actually, now that I think of it, did I have all 3 starters for Johto? I don't know if I had all 3 starters for Johto. I have a Chikorita, or no, a Cyndaquil one right here from when I was little. I don't know where it's from. The tag's cut off, but I have a Cyndaquil one. I swear I had a Chikorita one as well. Ash had Chikorita and then Bayleaf in the anime, so it was pretty cool. But, like, let's be honest, if you're playing a Gen 2 game, if you're playing Heart Gold, Soul Silver, that's like the Gen 2 games I think the majority of people played. I know, for instance, like, those are the first Gen 2 games I played, but if you're playing a Gen 2 game, you're not really picking Chikorita. Let's be completely honest. You're picking Cyndaquil or you're picking Totodile. Despite that, though, Chikorita's fine. I'm going to put it in... I think B tier is fine for Chikorita and Bayleaf, and then Meganium up in A tier. Like, Meganium's cool. Like, I have nothing against Meganium. It's just kind of, like, irrelevant, if I'm being honest. That's the only real, like, knock on it, is that Meganium's kind of irrelevant. Like, it's not useful in any battling. It has... I mean, its cards are kind of cool. It doesn't have any that genuinely stand out to me. I believe in Neo Genesis, the first Neo set, the first set of Gen 2 Pokemon, it had a holo card that looks pretty cool. Just like it's just standing there and it's like had a dark background. So it was really cool. But Meganium isn't like one that people look at and be like, oh my gosh, it's one of the coolest Pokemon ever. But like, it is a solid Pokemon, I think it's safe to say. Then Chikorita and Bayleaf as well. Like, again, nothing against them. They're fine, just not exactly some of my favorites. But then on the other hand, we have Cyndaquil, Quilava, and Typhlosion. Now, Cyndaquil, a lot of people are kind of familiar with now, for me that may have not played a Gen 2 game, because of Legends Arceus. Now, Legends Arceus, you have Cyndaquil, Quilava, but then Hisuian Typhlosion. And those kind of, actually, now that I think of it, I don't know how those looked in the games for the sprites. But one thing I will note with these 3, actually, no. Now that I think of it, I believe... No. I made a short about this. The sprites for these got ruined when they went to 3D sprites. For those that recall, Chikorita, Quilava, Typhlosion with like the 8-bit sprites, they always had the fire coming out of their backs. See how they all have the fire there? That was there at all times. When they moved to the 3D sprites, the fire's only there when they're attacking. I will note, if you're doing no fire, these are all C tier for me. But with the fire, out of the Johto Pokemon, I mean, Typhlosion's S tier, Quilava and Cyndaquil are both A tier without a doubt. I love, like, Blaziken as well with the fire on its hands, Mega Charizard X with the fire coming out of its mouth. When there's, like, a constant flame there, like, that's some of the coolest stuff Pokemon can do. I absolutely love how those look. Typhlosion was my starter in my first ever playthrough of Soul Silver, my first ever Gen 2 playthrough. I picked Cyndaquil, had Quilava, and then Typhlosion as well, so it always holds a special place in my heart, you can say, because of that. I remember playing that game, actually. Now, I've had so many instances where I've done this, where I played a Pokemon game and didn't finish. The first playthrough I had of Soul Silver, where I sat down and I played it beginning to end. I didn't play any other games in between. I didn't, like, go on long hiatuses of playing the game. Like, I was playing every single day, was at the start of the pandemic. I remember, actually, I was exposed to someone that had, you know, the disease. I'm not going to say YouTube, actually, they don't like you talking about that too much, so I'm not going to mention it. But, like, I had the disease that shut the world down. Actually, I was exposed to someone that had it, and I didn't want to give it to my family, so I was locked in my room for that whole, like, a week or something like that. I ended up not getting it, thankfully. But when I was locked in my room, I just played Pokemon Soul Silver. And, like, during that time, I've explained at the beginning of the pandemics, really when I got right back into Pokemon, like, fell in love with it again. I always liked Pokemon, and I was always paying attention to it. But that's what got me actively, like, playing the games again, actively collecting cards again. And that's one of the reasons as to why I got into it, because of how much I enjoyed playing Soul Silver. That's actually why I ended up playing Sword and Shield. I honestly wouldn't really have played Sword and Shield, but I enjoyed playing Soul Silver so much. I'm like, you know what? I gotta play the newest game that I played, Pokemon Sword and Shield, and just said that that's, you know, like, how do you say it? Now, what's the saying? And then, it's not, and that's all she wrote. That's like at the, or maybe it is that's all she wrote. Nonetheless, like, I was hooked from there, you can say. So, yeah, I like Typhlosion. It holds a special place in my heart when it comes to Pokemon. Then this next one here, we have Totodile, Croconaw, and Feraligatr. Now, Totodile is one that we attempted to shiny hunt for a little bit in the Indigo Disc. Unfortunately, we yielded nothing. We were unable to find it. Now, it is really difficult to shiny hunt because it's only in 2 specific ponds, actually technically 3 specific ponds in the Indigo Disc in the terrarium, and Totodile only spawns in the water where there's deep water. There's a lot of shallow water that's puddles where Inteleon spawns, but Totodile is only in the deeper water. And the problem is Totodile is a pure water type. Now, you use a water encounter sandwich. Totodile isn't the only Pokemon that's boosted spawning. There's obviously other water type Pokemon in the water, making it extremely difficult to shiny hunt Totodile in the Indigo Disc. Now, you could say, oh, you could do mass outbreaks. I believe they nerfed mass outbreaks where you don't find them as often. I have yet to find a Totodile mass outbreak. And also, too, I absolutely despise shiny hunting and mass outbreaks. I absolutely suck at it. I've only found, like, shinies in, like, 3 mass outbreaks, and we have done so many of them. It is absurd. But I like Totodile. It's cool. It's had a lot of really cool cards. Ash had one in the anime. I don't believe it ever evolved. I believe it always remained as a Totodile. But actually on this tier list here, I'm going to put... Oh, there we go. I'm putting Totodile up at the top of A tier right now. I honestly really like Totodile. Croconaw, I don't really like too much. You know, I'm going to actually put Croconaw down in... Now I'm going to put it down there. I've honestly never been the biggest fan of it. It's like, it's fine. I don't love it. But Feraligatr. Now, Feraligatr is one that a lot of people really, really like. Now, for me, I've never been the biggest fan of Feraligatr. Feraligatr and Crocodile, like, I like them, but I like alligators and crocodiles. I feel like they're such cool animals in real life. Like, they're the legit real life dinosaurs and stuff. I remember seeing all kinds of TV shows. Like, there was, oh my gosh, I don't remember the name of the TV show, but it was those guys down in Florida that would go around and, like, they had, like, some crocodile or gator sanctuary, and they would, like, go around and, like, if people had them in their pools or in their backyards or in their house and that kind of stuff, and they'd go around and get them and, like, safely take them out. They'd be wrestling them, holding them down, taping their mouths up, and then transporting them to, like, some safe place or something like that, either releasing them back in the wild or bringing them to their sanctuary and that kind of stuff. I remember watching all those shows. I love those animals in real life. But the Pokemon of them, I've honestly always been a little bit disappointed in. I've never been the biggest fan of any of them. I will note, oh god, Skeledirge. I almost forgot the name right there for a second. Skeledirge is the first one that I, actually like. The only knock I have with that thing is the fire coming out of its mouth looks like mac and cheese. Like, if they did fire, like, the fire on Typhlosion, the fire on Mega Charizard X, the fire on Blaziken, if they did a fire like that, it would have looked so much better, but it's got, like, some Minecraft-style mac and cheese fire coming out of its mouth that looks a little weird. That's the only knock I have on it, but my favorite part about it, it's down on 4 legs. Now, that's a big controversial topic in Pokemon, being on 2 legs or being on 4 legs. Now, Feraligatr is cool. It stands on 4 legs, and stands on 2 legs, and some of the coolest parts about it is we've had some cards with it that make up for it standing on 2 legs, where there's one from Expedition, where, you know what, since I'm on here, I'm actually going to show you guys the card. I know I've referenced this card once before. I'll just go on TCG Player. Shout out TCG Player. Oh, why is it blurry? Why are these all blurry? This one's kind of good. It's on Bulbapedia. Look at this. Look at this card right here. You see how Feraligator's like in a swamp? And you have like half its mouth is at the surface of the water. The top of its head is above the water, and the rest of its body is underwater. Like how you see actual gators in the water. Like, I think everything about that card is so cool, and that card alone makes me honestly really like Feraligatr. So because of that, I'm gonna put Feraligatr up here in A tier. Now, do I like it more than Totodile? Honestly, I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna leave it below Totodile, actually. I'm gonna leave it there for now. Because Totodile, I don't know. I like Totodile. It's a really, really good design. Feraligatr, I do like, but I'm not going to put it above Totodile. I'm going to leave it right there. Then moving on now, we have kind of like the basic Pokemon from the gen. We have Sentret, Furret, Hoot, Noctowl, Ledyba, Ledian, Spinarak, Ariados, and these are kind of just like those basic Pokemon you would see at the start of the game. Honestly, I'm kind of impartial to most of them. Like, and just for reference with the tier list here, F tier is bad. Like, really bad. D tier is, like, just bad. C tier, nah, you know what? Actually, now that I think of it, C tier's average. Like, think of C tier as middle of the road. D tier below average. F and below is just bad. I don't think there's anything in here that's, normally we have disgusting below F. I don't think there's anything in here that's worth disgusting tier. Yeah, I don't think there's anything that's disgusting tier. So F tier is bad, D tier is below average, C tier is average, B tier is above average, A tier is good, S tier is amazing, and then God tier is quite literally the best there is. So like Sentret and Furret, like I like Sentret more than Furret. I'm gonna put I might put Hoot up here in A tier. What is this from? Hoot and Noctowl I'm putting up an A tier. But then Ledian. Dude, there's like a helicopter flying over my house right now. Or is that a plane? No, it sounds like a helicopter. Like right above my house. But Ledian I'll put C tier. Like it's not bad. Like, this thing, honestly, this thing's D tier for one reason. They're a pain to catch in Pokemon Go. The Ledian, those things are a pain to catch in Pokemon Go. Ledyba, those are easy to hit excellent throws on, so that's why it's going in C tier. Spinarak, I think, is cool. I'll put Spinarak at the top of C tier. And actually, you know what? Spinarak's going to go up in A tier, and Ariados is going to go down here in C tier. But Hoot and Noctowl, I really like both of these. Now, I don't know, actually I'm going to flip these. I don't know specifically what the design is from. It might have been Winnie the Pooh. Was there an owl in that? And that's kind of what Hoot and Noctowl remind me of. Noctowl being the Great Horned Owl. Both of their shinies are phenomenal. And also, Ash had one in the anime. For a lot of people, that was like the first introduction to shiny Pokemon. Now, obviously, you have the first like big shiny Pokemon introduced to people was, you could say, the Lake of Rage Gyarados, the shiny Gyarados in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, or Silver and Gold. But Noctowl was like the one in the anime. I believe the first shiny Pokemon you probably saw in the anime. And it was really cool. And I've always really liked Noctowl and Hoot. I like owls. You guys know Rowlet's my favorite starter Pokemon. And it's the profile picture on the channel. So you guys probably knew I would put these rather high. I really, really like them. And then the next one here, we have Crobat. Now, there is no way I'm the only one that's always thought this. Did anyone else think when you were younger it went Zubat, Crobat, Golbat? Am I the only one that thought that? I always thought Golbat was the final evolution and Crobat was the middle one. Turns out Crobat's the final evolution, and Crobat is pretty cool. I will note that. I'm going to put it up in A tier. I don't like it more than the owls, but I will note that Crobat is really cool, and I do like it. It has a pretty cool shiny. Crobat had a V-Box from Shining Fates, the shiny set from Sword and Shield, and in the first ever Pokemon game I ever played, actually. I have it right here. Or the case for it, I should say. Diamond and Pearl. I played Pokemon Pearl. Now, I was gifted this, and the person that got it for me as a gift, they got it from GameStop, and they got it, like, used. It was a used game they bought from GameStop. And on the game, it had, like, everything you could possibly imagine. It had every legendary, every starter, and it had a single shiny Pokemon. That shiny Pokemon was Crobat. So Crobat's technically The first shiny Pokemon I ever had in a game. I didn't catch it myself, but it's the first one I ever had. So I've always liked Crobat a little bit more because of that. Then down here we have Lantern, and is it Chinchou? No, yeah, Chimecho is the bell thing. Chinchou is this one. The water electric types, I think these are really cool. I will note, like these, they're based on anglerfish, I believe, with like the light hanging off their head in the front, the deep sea fish and all that kind of stuff. I really like those in real life. I wish they gave us some like gnarly Pokemon design for those. Like these kind of look kind and nice. And you think about it, those are like the scariest, meanest looking animal. Like they're not like intentionally like, you know, mean and scary and all that stuff. It's just how they look because they're down in literally where there's no light at all. They're in the depths of the sea. Yet we have like the kind of like some of the nicest, kindest Pokemon based on their designs. I wish we had something a bit cooler for them. So I'm gonna put them down here in C tier. Yeah, I'll put them down there in C tier right there. Like I just wish they were a bit cooler. If I'm being honest, like because the design, like the animal they're based on, has so much potential, and like it's just kind of a boring Pokemon design, if I'm being completely honest. But the typing's cool. Water electric. I do really like that. Moving on now, though, we have some baby Pokemon. Actually, let's just go with all the baby Pokemon right now. Let's run through. We'll do all of them real quick. I believe I did you know what? I actually did do a baby Pokemon tier list before. So, the thing is, though, when we did the baby Pokemon tier list, that was based on the baby Pokemon alone. This is based on all of Gen 2 Pokemon. So, I will note, I don't like Cleffa. I don't like Igglybuff. Pichu, I don't know if you guys can hear that. There's like another helicopter flying above. I apologize if the mic's picking it up. Pichu I like. I believe I explained that before on the tier list that we did. And then Togepi, I really like as well. I think Togepi's a cool design. Actually, do I like Pichu more than Crobat? Nah, I like Crobat more than Pichu. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to move Hoot Hoot to the bottom of A tier. Leave Noctowl up there. Yeah, I'm going to do that. And then we'll put Togepi up there for... you know, I do kind of like Togepi. I think Togepi's cool. You know, let's leave Togepi below the starters for now. Let's leave it there for now. Togetic, I'm going to put down here in B tier. Honestly, I've never really liked Togetic that much. It's fine. Like, I mean... It looks weird, if I'm being completely honest. Togepi is really cool. Togekiss is really cool. Togetic is like, honestly, it's not the best Pokemon. But here we go. How do you do, Natu? And then how do you do, Xatu? Shout out Leonhardt. How do you do, Natu? I love when he always says that in the videos. But we have Natu and Xatu right here. They're like, kind of like creepy looking psychic birds. They have this kind of like blank look on their face. And honestly, I love them because of that. I think they're really cool. Natu, for me, is an A-tier Pokemon for sure. I might even put it... Now, I like Natu better than Xatu. What do I like Xatu better than Natu? I like... You know what? Let's go... I think I'm going to go there. I like Xatu and Natu. I really do. I think they're cool Pokemon. They've always had cool card designs, too. The artworks they've made for those things over the years, they always do... look really cool. I think they're awesome. But now we have... Oh, so actually, we're not doing the megas. Can I move these down to the bottom, actually? There we go, the bottom. Oh my god, we do have one for... I have to make a new tier. We do have a Pokemon for Disgusting tier. I just realized. We're not ranking the megas. We're going to leave those separate. Dang, there's a lot of Johto megas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them? I believe that's all of them, right? Yep, those 6. But now we have Mareep, Flaffy, and Ampharos. Now, these 3 Pokemon are all really cool. It's a really cool evolution line. Honestly, like, these are A-tier ones. I feel like this is just going to be A-tier. Johto has so many good Pokemon, dude. Johto has so many good Pokemon. But I think we're going to have our second S-tier Pokemon here of the day with Ampharos. Ampharos is so cool. I love how it was in the game with being up in the lighthouse and all that stuff. I thought that was really cool. I love the Dark Ampharos card from Neo Destiny. I'm going to look up. Yeah, I'll show you guys. Look, this is so nice. I can just flip back and forth and show you guys. I have this card in my own... Why is it... Why does it look like this? Okay, here we go. I have this card in my own personal collection. This Dark Ampharos card. I absolutely love this card. I think it is so cool. I don't have a first edition, and I believe mine's in Japanese. But this card right here is just so gnarly and so awesome. Oh my gosh, dude. I love this card so much. This might be one of my favorite Neo cards of all, like from the Neo era. I always categorize the TCGs by different eras. We made a tier list of this. Of the Neo era, this might be top 5 for me from the Neo era. This card is so cool. Without a doubt, my favorite Ampharos card. This might be... Actually, you know what? If you've been watching for a while, I did top 10 most valuable electric cards, I think. I didn't do my top 10 most favorite electric... Or did I? Let me check this video. I made a video on my channel where I ranked electric type cards. Now, I do not recall if I did it with... did I do most expensive or favorite? Top 10 electric type Pokemon cards of all time. Oh my god, I did just do top 10. Okay, I put this one at number 2. What the heck did I put at number 1? Oh, yeah, the Pikachu. Yeah, I put... Yo, I like these videos. I mean, this is a sick video. But yeah, I put it at number 2. This card is awesome. Like, think about that for a second. Every electric type Pokemon there is. All of them. Think of all the electric type Pokemon cards that have ever been printed. This is my second favorite one of all time. I absolutely love that thing. And because of that, it is in S tier without a shadow of a doubt. Yo, Blues, thank you for tuning in. Ampharos is absolutely awesome. But then the other ones, like Mareep is cool based on the sheep. Flaffy's cool based on sheep. Actually, what animal is Ampharos based on? Huh? What's Ampharos based on? Is it a sheep? Is there kind of a sheep that stands up? What? Because if you think about it, Mareep and Flaffy, obvious 2 sheep. Then what the heck is Ampharos? I honestly don't know. Well, nonetheless, these are A tier, right? Both of them. I love the pink on Flaffy. It's so cool. And with the blue tail, it goes so well. I'm gonna move these higher up. Let's go right. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna put them right there. Up there in A tier. One thing I've noticed, I typically do like the pre-evolution better than the middle evolution, but in this case, I believe holds true. Do I like Flaffy better? No, I like Mareep. Yeah, they're really cool. They're like the electric type Pokemon from Gen 2. Just about everyone, I'm sure, used one on their original playthrough team in Gen 2. Even if it wasn't your original playthrough, if you're playing through Gen 2, you're probably using an Ampharos. They're really cool. I really like them. But moving on now, we have Blossom. Now, Blossom's like one I've never really loved. It evolves from Sunkern with the Sunstone, right? Right, because Sunkern normally evolves to Sunflora, but with the Sunstone goes to Blossom, I believe. Let me check the decks. Oh my god, actually, hang on. Speaking of the decks, we have an egg hatching in Pokemon Go. I completely forgot. I have an egg about to hatch in Pokemon Go. I'll show you guys. Okay, here we go. Johto. Let's see. Now, that's order of dex entry. Is it... I don't have a Sunkern. Does Sunkern evolve into Sunflora? I could... Oh, wait, my egg's hatching. Sorry. Here we go. Egg hatching. Oh my god, Larvesta. Please, Larvesta. Dude, it was quarter hatch distance on Chansey Calm Day. What is that? Oh, Smoochum. Oh, good lord. Hey, Gen 2 Mon. Oh, Smoochum sucks. Hey, is it still shorter hatch distance? Now, let's incubate a 10k egg. I'm going to throw in a 10k egg, and then I'll hatch this thing on stream once again. Oh, it's full kilometers once again. Oh, lord. Tier list. Here we go. So now we have Blossom. Now, Blossom, I'm I don't know. Yo, Alexander, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Blossom's like, I don't know, man. C tier? It looks fine, but I've never had any reason to really like it, I think. I think Mlooz is behind in the stream. You talking about Flaffy? I think he might be Flaffy. You talking about Flaffy? Yo, I don't know. Well, when he eventually hears this moves, click live in the bottom left so you're caught up to the live stream. You might be behind. But nonetheless, Blossom. It's fine. Like, I don't want to put it in D tier. I feel that's a little mean. I'll put it down here in C tier, though, saying it's average. We'll put it above Ledian and all that. Yeah. I'll put it a bit higher. Let's put it up there. Let's put it below Lantern. How about that? Put it down there. Blossom. I think that's a fine spot for it. But now we have... It's Meryl and Azumarill, right? Because Azurill is the baby one that we got in Gen 4. But this is Meryl and Azumarill. Now, I like these two. I really like these two. Meryl, I'm going to put in... I mean, that's a... Whoa. Easy B tier for me. I'll put Meryl right in there. And then Azumarill... I might put Azumarill up in S tier. If I'm being honest, hear me out. If you've played Pokemon Go Battle League and you've played Great League, you know Azumarill. You know how good Azumarill is. It is like the staple Pokemon in Great League, in Go Battle League. And I love playing Go Battle League. Great League's one of my favorite leagues to play. And I have a cracked 100 IV Azumarill that is 1497 CP. I love using that thing. It's like the cornerstone of the team building I do in that game. Jackaroo, OP in Unite as well. Exactly. Good in Go Battle League. Good in Unite. Has a phenomenal shiny. It's gold. It turns gold. It is so cool. Azumarill for me, and I'm putting it above Ampharos. Do I put it above Typhlosion? I love Azumarill, dude. It is such a cool Pokemon. It's had some really cool cards, too. Speaking of cards, there is a light Azumarill. I showed you the dark Ampharos. There's a light Azumarill card that I actually have. That thing is so awesome. I love that card so much. Azumarill is such a cool Pokemon. Easy S tier. Yeah. Without a doubt. Easy S tier. And as we get into this a bit more, it might bump up above Typhlosion, if I'm being honest. Azumarill's God tier. No. God tier for Johto, there's only one Pokemon that's going up there. There is a single Pokemon that is going up in God tier. I can promise you guys that. Azumarill being up in S tier is huge. You know what? Nah, I'm not going to put it above Typhlosion just yet. Maybe by the end, we might move it up. I'll have to think about it a bit more, but S tier for sure. Now, Sudowoodo, man. I hate this thing because I always think it's a grass type. It's a pure rock type. Azumarill is, Sudowoodo, I'm like, man, I don't know. Like, I know a lot of people like this thing. Honestly, I've never been the biggest fan of Sudowoodo. For me, it's kind of like, I don't know, just not the best. Like, it looks fine. I don't know. It's a Pokemon that I always feel like should have had more. You know what I mean? Like, it's a fine design. It ended up getting the baby Pokemon Bonsly, and I will note I like Bonsly more than Sudowoodo. But Sudowoodo, like, it should get another evolution, shouldn't it? Like, I think it's, like, supposed to be, like, a pretend tree or something like that. And it's just, like, I don't know. It's cool. It's, like, an iconic Pokemon. I feel like it's something that should be better. Like, yo, White Wolf Gamer, thank you for tuning in. It need an evolution, not a baby. Exactly. Yeah, you guys all think B tier. I was gonna say B tier as well. I'm not gonna put it above Chikorita. I'm gonna put it above Bayleaf and below Meryl. I'm going to leave it down there in B tier. Like, Sudowoodo's cool. It's just something that I look at. I'm like, I just wish it had more. There's another Pokemon here on this list, too, we're going to get to in a little bit, that I'm going to say literally the exact same thing with, and it eventually actually got that extra bit. So we will come back to that same concept again in a little bit, but it got a baby Pokemon, Bonsly. I love Bonsly. I have a shiny Bonsly in Pokemon Go. I think that might have been the first shiny Pokemon I ever hatched in Pokemon Go because it's only available via eggs, and I really, really like that thing. But I'm never going to evolve it because I like Bonsly way more than Sudowoodo. So Sudowoodo's down there in B tier for me. Wazd? I apologize if I'm saying your name wrong. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. But this next one here, we have a good one. Politoed. Now, Politoed is awesome. I mean, I'm going to just go on. I'm going to start rambling here about the countless amazing things of this Pokemon. Politoed. It looks awesome. We have the Tadpole Pokemon line in Gen 1 with Poliwhirl, Poliwag, and Poliwrath. Now, we then got an additional evolution, Politoed, in Gen 2. Now, Politoed is, we were just complaining about, like, they gave all these extra evolutions and stuff in Gen 2, talking about how a lot of these baby Pokemon we have down in D tier didn't even need to be there in the first place. This is one I wouldn't say we needed. Like, I think Poliwrath was good, but Politoed, oh my gosh, it is phenomenal. Shiny Politoed, beautiful. Pink and blue, it is amazing. Then you have some of the cards it's had over the years. There is a Politoed EX. I'm going to pull it up real quick. I got to pull this up. There's a Politoed EX. Here we go. Oh my lord. EX Unseen Forces Politoed. This card right here, look, just look at this thing. Look how beautiful this card looks. Look how sick that thing is. That is so cool. Then there's another one as well, a really iconic one as well. Politoed. Let me look up Hollow. He's like on a tree, I think, looking out. Yeah. Here we go. This is from Neo Discovery, which was the second set of the Neo era. This Politoed card as well. Politoed has had some really, really cool cards over the years, and I've liked it because of that. In Pokemon Go, when Johto was first released, Politoed was the second Pokemon I was looking forward to the most. Heracross was the one I wanted the most. Just behind Heracross was Politoed. Why did I want Politoed? Because I knew it was going to look awesome in Pokemon Go. Politoed, and it has Ice Beam. It has does it have Swift Swim or just Drizzle? I know it has Drizzle. I'm almost positive about that. Let me look up Politoed abilities. Oh no, it just has Drizzle. Sorry, it doesn't have Swift Swim. It just has Drizzle. You use it on rain teams with Pokemon with Swift Swim because it has Drizzle. And one thing I will note, I kind of hope we get this thing in Pokemon Unite. Wouldn't that be cool to get Politoed in Unite? Like, you could have Poliwhirl, Poliwag, and then a split evolution where you pick, do you want to go Politoed or do you want to go Poliwrath? I think that would be really cool. But dude, Politoed, I love Politoed. It is going up here in S tier. You know what? I'm going to put it ooh. Do I put it above Typhlosion? I think I put it over Azumarill. You know what? I'm going to put it below Azumarill. Actually, I'm going to put it right there. Let's leave it like that for now. Easy S tier. Easy S tier Pokemon. I mean, without a doubt. Politoed is so cool. Everything about it is awesome. An evolution, like I said, we didn't need, but we got, and Lord, am I happy we did, because it is so cool. Cool, shiny, fun to use in battling. Has had some really cool cards over the years. That is a solid card or Pokemon right there. I'm thinking of cards all of a sudden with that card. Well, the next evolution line we got here is Hoppip, Skiploom, and Jumpluff. And actually, as I look down here, I realize there is a disgusting tier Pokemon on this tier list. There is a disgusting Pokemon on here. But here we have Hoppip, Skiploom, and Jumpluff. Now, I mean, these are fine. Like, I mean, Hoppip's, I like the colors on Hoppip, if that means anything. I think the colors look cool, so I'll put it up here. Skiploom, I don't really like. I think it looks kind of bad. Jumpluff, I'm fine with. I like, because it's like, reminds me of like the dandelions you'd blow and go, and then all this stuff flies off. That's what it reminds me of, but like, I've never really had any reason to really like those Pokemon. Actually, I think I have 100 IV in Pokemon Go, now that I think about it. But, moving on from those real quick. Let me, we need to add a disgusting tier for Apom. I hate this Pokemon. Apom might be my least favorite Pokemon of all time. Apom, Ampipom, I absolutely hate these things. Now be thinking, PokePlayer, why do you hate Apom so much? Everyone raise your hand if you've played Pokemon Go. I've played Pokemon Go. I've been playing Pokemon Go since it came out. There is no reason for this thing to be so difficult to catch in Pokemon Go. No, absolutely no reason for this thing to be so difficult to catch in Pokemon Go. Literally, when Pokemon made the Pokemon Go set, the TCG set came out June 24th, 2022. They released a Pokemon Go themed set in the Pokemon TCG. What were some cool things in there? We had the Mewtwo alternate art where Mewtwo was coming down in the city from the raid like it did in the original Pokemon Go trailer. We had Blissey sitting on top of a gym, as Blisseys always do. And what did they do with Apom? Apom had Pokeballs all around it, and it was dodging a Pokeball that was flying at it. It has a starter catch rate. I honestly think it might be worse than starters. Every time you see an Apom, it is going to have a red circle around it, and it is such a pain to catch for absolutely no reason. Like, I would understand if you're catching, like, let's look on here, if you're catching a wild Heracross, or if you're catching a Larvitar, like, stuff like that, it makes sense for the circle to be red. Even the starters as well. Why Apom? Why does Apom have to be so difficult to catch? And also, too, if I'm being honest, I've never liked this thing. How it was in the anime always just annoyed me. So happy when Ash traded Dawn, that thing, and Ash got Weasel. That might be the best Pokemon trade of all time. Ash trading Apom, or it might have even been Ampipom at the time, I don't recall. Nonetheless, we'll say Apom for Weasel, what Ash traded in Sinnoh. One of the best trades of all time. Got that stupid Apom off Ash's team. Couldn't be happier about that. I absolutely hate Apom. And I'm going to end my rant there. I don't want to keep ranting on here about Apom. But moving on now, we have Sunkern and Sunflora. Now, I like sunflowers and sunflower seeds. I think they're pretty cool. I remember seeing, when we would go on vacation, we would drive past this one house all the time. This house had sunflowers above the house. Now, the house, it was a single-story house. It wasn't like a massive house. But these sunflowers were, no joke, like, they might have been 12 to 16 feet tall. They were insane, dude. These things were massive. But, I mean, as a Pokemon, like, what's going on? As a Pokemon, I've never really liked them too much. I'm gonna put them down here in C tier. I'll put Sunkern above Sunflora. I'll put it on the bottom of C tier. I mean, yeah, I'll put them at bottom of C tier. Because, like, nah, I'll leave them down there. They're kind of weird, aren't they? They're kind of just weird Pokemon, if I'm being honest. Like, Sunkern's fine. It looks like a basic, like, first Pokemon. But, like, Sunflora, like, I don't know, man. Sunflora I just never really have been a fan of. It's just, yeah, it is what it is. Then down here we have Yanma. Now, Yanma's cool because it is the Dragonfly Pokemon, and then it got a really cool evolution with Yanmega in Sinnoh in generation number 4. But Yanma on its own isn't necessarily the best. I'm going to put it up in B tier, though. I'm going to put it above Bayleaf and below Sudowoodo. Yanma's cool. I believe that's a pretty cool shiny as well. It's like lime green and light blue. I think that's pretty cool. It might not be a light blue. It's lime green and blue, I should say. It has a cool shiny. Actually, you know what? I'll put it above Sudowoodo. Yanma is pretty cool, but like it's on its own, it's like it's not the best. I will note when it got Yanmega, that was better. Actually, I might just go through. We might do these once a week. Just go through each gen and just do a tier list of these. Because when I do the Sinnoh tier list, I'm gonna put Yanmega rather high because Yanmega's really cool. Yanma though, I mean, it's fine. It's fine. But now the next one. Wooper Whoop. Yo, Exospace, thank you for tuning in. And if anyone I may have missed, super, if I didn't say what is up to you, I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much. But Wooper and Quagsire. Now, Wooper, I mean, easy A tier, right? Wooper is easy A tier. I'm putting him up there. I'll put him behind. I like Cyndaquil more than Wooper. I'm putting Wooper right here above I don't know, man. Do I like it more than Meganium? You guys want Wooper in S tier? I'm not putting Wooper up in S tier. I'll put Wooper in A tier. Rip Wooper. For those that recall, when PokeRev, I think this might be one of his most viewed streams he's ever done. He was doing a Neo Genesis, like, booster box opening where he pre-sold the packs and then he was opening them up and like packaging them up, and he'd like send them to the people that bought the packs and stuff. And he was opening one, and he opened the first pack. He was like, it seemed like it was resealed. He thought it was a little weird. He was suspicious from the jump. And he opens the pack. The cards looked a little weird. He was comparing them. He's like, nah, they look a little bit legit. Like, he was going back and forth with it for a little bit. Then he continued to open more and more packs, and every pack had the same order of cards, it seemed like. You might be thinking, was it an error pack or something like that? And he eventually was like, okay, the only way we're going to be able to decide is to do the rip test. Like, rip a card, and it has the 2 lines, then it's good to go. And so, the card he ripped was a Wooper. Rip Wooper, but the cards ended up being fake, but I always remember that Rip Wooper from PokeRev's stream. But Wooper's a fine Pokemon. I'm going to put it below Meganium, and I'll put it right there. Wooper's up there in A tier. I like Togepi better than Wooper. I will note that. But Quagsire, let me tell you guys, this thing tormented me. Me and my cousins and brothers would play Pokemon Showdown all the time. And we'd battle all the time in our Pokemon games. My one cousin would always use Quagsire and beat the piss out of me with this thing. Quagsire would terrorize me. This thing terrorized me for years. I hated this thing for so long. And because of that, I don't like Quagsire. I'm not putting it F tier. I'm not putting it D tier. I'm not putting it disgusting tier. I'm not putting it C tier. I'm putting Quagsire in B tier. Quagsire terrorized me so much. Playing, I'm like, there's no way. This thing, like, people talk about, like, this stuff you have nightmares of, you look back on. Quagsire is that for me. It is just, I hated it. It was awful. About to hit 1K subs. Dude, I know, we've been climbing. How many are we at right now? Let's see. 977. Yeah, we've been climbing. To everyone that's been subscribing to the channel, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Means a lot. We're closing in on 1,000. You guys want to put Quagsire in A? Like, if this was Clodsire is top of A, maybe even S tier. Quagsire's just, I don't really like him. Wooper's up in A tier. Wooper's cool. Quagsire? You guys want that thing in up top? It's got ditto eyes, and it looks like it's just a blue blob. I'm leaving Quagsire in B tier. I'm leaving it there. But here's another one. This one might be a little bit controversial when we get into this. The Evolutions. The Evolutions of Gen 2. Now, the Evolutions are some of the most popular Pokemon of all time. No question about that. Now, the greater majority of Pokemon fans think Umbreon is the best Evolution. For me, though, I think it's Espeon. I go back and forth between Espeon and Glaceon. Those are my 2 favorites. I normally lead in favor of Espeon because I have a couple of reasons for liking Espeon. Now, when I was first getting back into the Pokemon TCG, as I mentioned, like end of 2019, beginning of 2020 during the pandemic and all that stuff. It was beginning of 2020. Beginning of the actually, it was summer 2020. Summer 2020 was like when I was really all back into it. And me and my brothers managed to find some Hidden Fates tins at a Target. We bought the Hidden Fates tins. I've explained the story before. We were going around all different stores. We found the vendor, the lady that, like, it's not Target or Walmart employees that stock the shelves. We were at a Target. It's not Target employees that stock the shelves. Target gets shipped the products. Then a vendor comes in and stocks the shelves themselves. And the lady that was there was stocking the shelves as we were looking at the Pokemon cards, and like, oh my god, there's Hidden Fates tins. And I was talking to my brothers, like, should we buy them? And the lady literally told me, she's like, I would suggest, if you want them, to buy them all, because these things sell quick and they're hard to find. So I bought all the Hidden Fates tins, and I think I had 9 in total, because we found 2 at one Target, went to another Target, and then found 7 more. Was it 7, 8, 9? I think that's all it was. I think it was 2 and 7. And then I came home and I decided to open up one of them. And the one I opened up, I pulled the full art shiny Espeon. One of the most valuable cards in the set. The only other shinies that are above it are like the Charizard, I think, and the Umbreon maybe. I think Espeon's number 3, and the Cynthia full art might be more valuable, but in terms of full art shinies, it's top 3. If not top 3, most definitely top 5. One of the most valuable cards in the set. And I love that thing. I got it in my binder in the middle of my shiny page. It's so awesome. It has a Gold Star card that is so cool. The Gold Star Espeon's probably one of my favorite Gold Star cards there is. It was in the Pop Series sets. It wasn't available in just a normal set. So it is really rare, really expensive, and really hard to get. But I've always really liked shiny Espeon. And Espeon as a whole, really cool. Red had one on his team. I mean, you guys know how much I love Red. So Espeon for me is easily going up at the top of S tier right now. No doubt about that. Espeon's up there at the top of S tier. Above Ampharos, above Politoed, above Azumarill, above Typhlosion. I'm throwing Espeon up there at the top of S tier. I love Espeon. I think it's so cool. But then there's Umbreon. Now, in the thumbnail, I had Umbreon. Did I put Umbreon at F tier in the thumbnail? I did. I put Umbreon at F tier in the thumbnail. Now, I'm not going to put it in F tier for this. People would go insane. But Umbreon, now, I've never been the biggest fan of. Now, the evolutions, I've always been fine with. I've never loved the evolutions. Like, I like Espeon, it's my favorite one, but the evolutions aren't something I jump to and like, oh my god, this is my favorite Pokemon ever. Like, for instance, I look at the pseudo-legendaries, I'm like, those are some of the coolest Pokemon of all time. Like, and a lot of people do that with the evolutions. The evolutions, though, I personally have never loved. Now, Umbreon, it's like, the evolutions are based on like cats. Sorry, my nose is itching. The evolutions are based on like cats, and Umbreon with the black cat and the yellow rings, it's kind of like reminds me of like ancient Egypt lore and that kind of stuff. And I've mentioned before, ancient Egypt is one of my favorite. Actually, I don't know if I've mentioned this before. I mentioned I like studying the Vikings and Norse mythology, but ancient Egypt is one of my favorite like fields to study. Like just learning about that stuff. I've watched so many videos, I've read books and stuff. I love ancient Egypt and everything about it. And this fits like that vibe perfectly. Although, like Umbreon, like I don't know, man. Like I've never loved it. This thing, which Pokemon ranking was it? It was a couple years ago. It was what year was it? It might have been 2019. This thing was number 2 for the top Pokemon ranking for the year. I think it went Greninja, Umbreon, Charizard, Rayquaza. Like, this thing was up there at the top, and it's always been up there. People love Umbreon. This is, I think, the majority of Pokemon fans think Umbreon is the best evolutions, and I think a lot of Pokemon fans think Umbreon's one of the best Pokemon of all time. Has a cool shiny when it turns blue. There's the Gold Star Umbreon in the Pop series. Like I said, Espeon was as well. And also, too, just in Celebrations, the 25th anniversary set, just a little while ago during Sword and Shield, we got a remake of the Gold Star Umbreon. Although, I've never really liked Umbreon that much myself. Now, I'm not going to put down an F tier. I'm not going to put in B tier. I'll respect Umbreon for what it is. I'm going to put Umbreon in S tier, but I can't put it at the top like I did Espeon. Honestly, I'm not even going to put it above Ampharos. I'm not the biggest fan of Umbreon. Like, I'm going to just leave it at that. I'm not the biggest fan of Umbreon, so I'm not going to put it up any higher than that. I will recognize how much everyone likes it and that it is a good Pokemon, and I'm going to put it in S tier. But personally, for me, it's just not one of my favorites. I will note that. It's just not one of my favorites. This might be controversial, but I think Red should have kept Espeon on his team instead of swapping out for Lapras. Oh, I love that Lapras had the all-Kanto team, but also, too, like, I love that he had the Espeon as well. Just, the lore around Red is so cool. And I'm gonna wait I'll explain this. So, for reference, when I'm done with this tier list, I'm gonna end this stream, then we're gonna do a shiny hunt. When we're doing the shiny hunt, someone remind me to talk about the Pokemon manga, because I'm gonna talk about that, and, everything about red with the Espeon and that stuff and that seems so cool. I don't want to. I'm not gonna get into it right now though. I'll talk about that later while we're shiny hunting. But Espeon and Umbreon, two really cool Pokemon. The evolutions we got from Gen 2, both have cool shinies, both have cool Gold Star cards, both have had really cool cards over the years. But I mean, like, Umbreon has Moonbreon, like the most valuable card you could pull out of a pack in recent years. It is just absolutely insane. But Umbreon for me has never been one that I've personally loved. Now, I'm probably going to get hate for putting it at the bottom of S tier. Like, it's up in S tier. Like, that's good, but I've never been the biggest fan of it myself. I like Espeon way more than Umbreon. Then we have, though, Murkrow. Now, Murkrow is one that, like, it obviously needed an evolution, and it got an evolution with Honchkrow. Now, I said I was going to talk about that a bit more in depth shortly as we move into this tier list a bit more. This isn't the Pokemon I was specifically talking about, though. Murkrow, though, I do like it. It has a cool shiny. Murkrow's definitely an A tier Pokemon for me. I think it's cool. I'm going to put it above Xatu. Yeah, I'll put it above Xatu and leave it right there. It has a cool shiny. It was, like, if I'm not mistaken, like one of the best Pokemon for VGC at the start of Scarlet and Violet, right? It was 2022, 2023. Like, I remember Wolfie made a video about it. Like, the first tournament, like, was just dominated by Murkrow because he threw up Tailwind and had Eviolite, right? It was OP. Oh, it had Prankster, Eviolite, Tailwind. That was the Murkrow. And Prankster, Eviolite, Tailwind, Haze. That's what everyone was running because it countered Dundozo and all that stuff. Murkrow was insane. Has a cool shiny and eventually got a cool evolution. I'm gonna put it up there in A tier. You can probably tell I like bird Pokemon. Bird Pokemon I've always liked. But now we have Slowking. Now, Slowking, honestly, I've never really liked. I'm gonna put it. Yeah, I'll put it right there. Slowking, I just don't really like. I don't think Slowking's that great. I'm going to put it in B tier, above average. Like, it's not bad, but it's not, like, something that I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Galarian Slowking, though, I'll note, I think is awesome. In my team I played with, in my original playthrough team, I had a Galarian Slowking. In Showdown, I always used a Galarian Slowking. This thing was OP and so much fun to play in Gen 8, so I'm getting all the gens wrong. Gen 8 OU. Galarian Slowking was so cool. And normal Slowking, though, is just, I don't know. Like, Slowbro I thought was cool, but Slowking I don't know. Like, Slowbro would have been an easy A tier for me. Slowking, though, is, actually not. I'm bumping this thing down. I see Lantern down there. Nah, Slowking's going down below Sentret. Yeah, I don't like Slowking that much. It's average. I'll leave it down there. Yeah, let's put it down there. But then here's the next one. We have Misdreavus. Now, Misdreavus is the one I was talking about that was a cool Pokemon, but just simply needed more. And it would come to get Mismagius in generation number 4. Although Mismagius, despite it being cool, it wasn't something I ever thought was, like, awesome. Then we get Fluttermane with the Paradox Pokemon. Now, Fluttermane is awesome. Cool shiny, super, super overpowered, or not overpowered, super, super good in, you could argue OP. It is overpowered, you could say, in battling. Super, super good in battling. Really, really cool. But, like, unfortunately, when we're doing this, we're not taking into account Mismagius, and we're not taking into account Fluttermane. We're looking at just simply Misdreavus. And just simply Misdreavus is, like, something I think just simply needs more. I feel like it's cool, but, like, it just needs a little bit more. I'm going to put it down here in B tier. It's above C tier. I don't want to put it up in A tier. Because, like, I look at all the Pokemon in A tier. I'm like, I like all those definitely better than Misdreavus. I'll put it above Yanma. I don't like it more than Meryl, though. I'll put it down in B tier. Some people might be upset about that, but Misdreavus, I've never really liked. It's just, I always thought it needed more. And it did get more, but on its own, I've never really liked too much. Would you believe if I said that Murkrow's catch rate is lower than Garchomp's? Honestly, I probably would, because we were talking about Apom being hard to catch in Pokemon Go. Murkrow, I think, is pretty hard to catch as well in Pokemon Go. But Murkrow is cool, Apom's not. So that's why I don't hate on Murkrow and I hate on Apom. Moving on now, we have a really cool Pokemon. Unknown. Now, we just have one unknown right here. We don't have the whole alphabet. I'm not going to go through and rank the whole alphabet with each unknown. But Unknown is an S tier Pokemon for me, for sure. Now, I'm going to put it at the bottom of S tier. I'll put it below Umbreon. But without a doubt, an S-tier Pokemon. Everything about this Pokemon is genuinely so cool. Kind of like how it was introduced in the movies. I think it was in that movie with Entei, right? That's what that was in, or is it the Celebi movie? Honestly, it might be in both, because those are both Johto movies. But nonetheless, Mewtwo is... am I saying Mewtwo? Was I just saying Mewtwo the whole time instead of Unknown? I'm Unknown. I don't know why I just said Mewtwo right there. Unknown, I think it's cool. It's a whole alphabet, dude. Like, that's such a cool concept. Its shiny's cool. It turns blue. Just these, like, weird little obscure Pokemon, like... They're so cool, man. Unknown, like the lore around Unknown and everything with that in Pokemon is just like, it's just so cool that Pokemon did something like that. And they've never done anything like that since, and they probably never will do anything like it again. Because, like, I mean, you could think, like, what else is there to do? Like, you could say numbers. You could do, like, the 0 through 9. You could do that with each digit. That could be something you could potentially do, similar to how they did Unknown. But with Unknown being the whole alphabet and there just being, like, so many of them and stuff, like, it's just so cool. I think Unknown's awesome. It's really, really cool. I love how we always saw it in the movies. I don't recall seeing it in the anime myself. Like, I'm sure it was in the anime, but there isn't anything, like, there wasn't anything in it that really stands out to me of it in the anime. The movies are what really stand out to me with it. And also, too, it's had some cool cards. Like, it was, what set was it? Lost Origin. I believe it had the alternate art card. So, Unknown's a cool Pokemon. I really like it. Then our boy Wobbuffet. I like Wobbuffet. It was on Team Rocket for years. Mirror Coat. I mean, Wobbuffet for me, I'm putting it above Wooper. I'll put it above... You know what? I'm putting Wobbuffet up there just below Totodile in A tier. I like Wobbuffet, man. I think it is hilarious that the female to male Wobbuffet, the difference is the female one has the lips on it, just painted right on it. They didn't change the actual design of the mouth whatsoever. They just stamped the lips on it. The shiny's cool. Seeing it on Team Rocket all the years, like, dude... Wobbuffet is an awesome Pokemon, man. I love that thing. It is so cool. Please promise you'll put Mantine in at least B tier. Mantine? Oh, how far are we off from Mantine? We'll get to it soon. I don't know where I'll put it. I honestly don't know. We'll decide that when we get there. But the next one, Girafarig. Girafarig's another Pokemon that was, like, dying for an evolution, and it finally got that with Farigiraf in generation number 9. Now, Girafarig, I've never really liked. I'm putting it down here in D tier. Girafarig, I've just... Psychic type, like... I don't know. I never liked it, personally. I never thought it was that cool. Then Pineco. Now, I think it's cool. Like, it's a cool design, and... based on a pine cone, like, it looks pretty good. I think it's cool, so I'll put that down there in C tier. Then we have Fortress. I've always kind of liked Fortress. It's always been a Pokemon I thought was cool. I believe Brock had one, if I'm not mistaken, in one of the animes. So, Fortress I'm putting up there in B tier. One thing I really like about Fortress, in generation number 9, in game, a lot of the Pokemon that were like this, like Magnemite, is metal and it looks chrome. Now, Fortress, now here it looks like it's kind of white, like a shell or some crust on it. Now, in-game, it looks chrome, which is so cool. It's hanging from the trees and stuff. Fortress is a really cool Pokemon, but I don't, like, love it. I'm going to put it up there in a B tier, though. It's a solid B tier Pokemon for me. Dunsparce, I mean... I'll put Dunsparce in C tier. Now, Dunsparce is fine. I want to put this thing in F tier, but because of the Dunsparce, because that was so awful. But, like, let's be honest, Dunsparce is fine. Nah, you know what? I'm gonna bump Dunsparce up. I'll put Dunsparce up there. Because, like, Dunsparce on its own is fine. Like, it's a fine-looking Pokemon. Lionel Messi, thank you for tuning in. You better put Steelix in A. Oh, trust me, Steelix will be up there for sure. But Dunsparce is, it's cool. I like it. The evolution might be the most disappointing thing we've ever gotten in Pokemon, if I'm being honest. Like, Dunsparce, to the Dunsparce. It's like, what the heck happened? But Dunsparce on its own, it's fine. I'll put it there. Gligar. Gligar's a really cool Pokemon. Got an evolution. Now, this is one, honestly, like, there's a lot of Pokemon in here, like Murkrow, Mischievous, Gligar, all of these Pokemon that are on their own that some of them needed evolutions. Murkrow, I think, was one that could have been on its own, but benefited from Honchkrow. Mischievous most definitely needed an evolution. Gligar's one that I thought, honestly, probably didn't even need an evolution, but got one, and it was really cool. I like Gligar. I think Gligar is really cool. I'm going to put it up there. I think I'll put it below Wooper. Ooh, Gligar or Wooper? What's Gligar even based on? Is it based on any kind of animal? Puffton, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Hope all is well. Is Gligar based on something? I don't know. Nonetheless, Gligar and Gliscor are really cool. Gligar, it's all pink. The shiny's blue. Gligar, oh, you guys can't even see it. The face cam's in the way. Gligar is a cool Pokemon. I'm going to put it up there in A tier. And again, out of all the Pokemon from this gen that kind of got one, just basic and didn't get an evolution, Gligar's probably the only one that could have been good on its own. That's how cool it is. A bat? Would it be a bit more, though, than just a bat? I can see the bat, but, like, with its, like, tail, kind of reminds, like, you know what, maybe, is it, like, the hybrid of, like, a scorpion and a bat? Scorpion flies. What is a scorpion fly? Scorpion fly? Oh my god, yes, this is it. That's Gligar. The tail is the exact same thing, pretty much. It's got the horns, the teeth for the mouth. Oh my, yo, Puffton, you're smart. That's literally what it is. It's a bat and that scorpion fly thing. Yeah, Gligar's cool. I like it. I've never seen one of those in real life. Steelix. Here we go. Steelix. Now, this is a Pokemon that I don't, like, honestly, I don't know how a lot of people feel about it. Do a lot of people like Steelix? I'm not sure. Me, personally, is Steelix a good Pokemon, if you would ask me that? On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rank Steelix? I'd give Steelix an 8 or a 9. I love Steelix. Some of my most valuable cards I have from my childhood collection, like the cards I had when I was little. Some of my best cards I have a Skyridge Hollow Steelix that I pulled myself out of a Skyridge pack when I was little. I have a first edition Neo Genesis Hollow Steelix that I pulled myself when I was little. Steelix, its mega, is so cool. Steelix, its shiny turns gold. Steelix is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. It has always been one of my favorite Pokemon. It is without a doubt going up in S tier. I'm going to put it up. Nah. Steelix is top of S tier. Steelix is the best Pokemon we've ranked so far. I think Steelix is just... everything about him so cool. Just this monster steel rock snake. Like, it doesn't get much cooler than that. Its cry and roar. Let me play its cry for you guys. Let me pull it up in Pokemon Go. Brock had one in the anime. Just everything about Steelix I think is so cool. Yo, DJ Luna, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. I hope you're doing good. Don't really like the British teeth. Ketchup, you're ruthless. Hey, let me get a Steelix real quick. Look, I have a shiny Steelix right here. I mean, looks awesome. Listen to this thing's cry. Like, it is so awesome. Someone mentioned a Crystal Steelix. Super. Could you imagine a Crystal Steelix like what they did with Onyx? Dude. Oh my gosh. That would have been insane. We got some like regional type variant of that. Like, that would have been so cool. That would have been so awesome, but we didn't get it. I will note they did add the crystals on the Mega Steelix, which that was really cool. But also too, Steelix had a Shining Steelix card in Neo Destiny, which was really cool as well. Like, they really got a lot of cool Johto Pokemon with those shining ones. There was obviously Mewtwo, Charizard, and Kabutops, and I think Golem as well. But then you got Steelix. I think there's Raichu in there too. But like Steelix, Noctowl, a bunch of really cool Johto Pokemon, and it was really, really awesome to see. And Steelix I've always really liked. Without a doubt, one of my favorite Pokemon. I wish it was more fun to use in battling too. It isn't the best. I've always tried to use it in like OU in Gen 7 OU with the Mega Steelix, and I've always tried it before. I've never been successful with it, but I think it's cool. I love Steelix. These next ones though, I don't like either of these. Granbull and Snubbull, Quillfish, you go down there too. I've never liked any of those. I mean, just no. I've never liked any of them. I don't think they're that great. Quillfish is like, why does he look so mad? Granbull, I've just never liked. And Snubbull, like, why does it look mad as well? Like, I've never liked those things. I like dogs. You guys see I got Murphy. But these Pokemon, like, no. I think I get what they tried to do with them. They tried to have, like, the mean-looking dog and have it be, like, pink and look cute. I think that's what they were going for with that. But, I don't know. For me, I've never liked them. A Pokemon I have liked and I've always liked, Scizor. Super, you better put Scizor in S tier. Oh, yeah. Scizor is a S tier mon for sure. I'm putting Scizor. I'm putting it above Typhlosion. I'm putting it above Espeon. Nah. Espeon. Oh, which is better? Espeon or Scizor? Scizor is so... Scizor has a Mega. We'll put it above Espeon. Scizor is so cool. Like, what isn't there to like about Scizor? The only thing there isn't to like is the shiny. It's just the lime green shiny. Scizor should have been all silver for the shiny. If Scizor turned all silver, that honestly might have been one of the coolest shinies of all time. But Scizor is such a cool Pokemon. It's had such cool cards over the years. It has... Did it ever have an EX from the EX era? Did Scizor ever get a cool EX card? Let me look up EX Scizor. I don't think it did. Oh my god, no, it did. I had one. It looked okay. But there is a Scizor from... I'm going to look this up real quick. Let me look this up real quick. There is a Bugsy's Scizor. I probably spelled Bugsy wrong. Yes. This card. This card right here. Now, this set right here is called the Pokemon Versus or VS series. Now, this is essentially Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge for generation number 2. Now, they only printed it in Japanese. We never got it in English. But here we have Bugsy Scizor as a holo. One of the coolest holos from the set. Arguably, no, this might be the coolest holo from the set. This might be my favorite card from the set. This Scizor card, I have always loved and thought is so cool. I've always mentioned, like, I need to do a mail day where I just buy a bunch of cool Pokemon cards. This is one of the top ones that are, like, a bunch of cool Pokemon cards I've always wanted. This is one of the top ones on that list. This card right here, it's perfect. Look how beautiful that card looks right there. I love that card. I think Scizor is so cool. Its Mega's really cool. Scizor just an awesome Pokemon. I'm gonna put Espeon above it. And the reason why I put Espeon above it is at the start, I said if there's the shiny, if we have two Pokemon that we're tying and we have to do a tiebreaker, we normally go with the shiny. Espeon's shiny is cooler than Scizor's. Yes, they're both lime green. Espeon is a cooler shade of green than Scizor. So I'm gonna put Espeon above Scizor, but Scizor is so cool. Moving on now, we have our boy Shuckle. Now, Shuckle, I like Shuckle. I'll put Shuckle up in A tier. Let's put him above Mareep, below Crobat, above Pichu. Solid spot for Shuckle. Like, Shuckle, I don't love Shuckle, but it's fine. It's a fine Pokemon. I don't have anything against it, is honestly what I should say. But this next one here, Heracross. When Johto first came out in Pokemon Go, when we first got Johto in Pokemon Go, I went out and was playing so much. What was the number one Pokemon I was trying to get? I was trying to get Heracross. Heracross was the number one Pokemon I wanted from Johto in Pokemon Go. I'm out searching far and wide for this thing. Then I come to find out it's a regional Pokemon. It's impossible for me to get. I'm like, well, great. You have to go to like, it's like, or essentially along the equator, I think, maybe? Because the regionals are based on longitude and latitude. Now, it's below a certain line. Now, I don't remember specifically what it is. I'm from the U.S., and I think in the very, very south, like maybe the tip of Texas or the tip of Florida, you can catch Heracross in the U.S. But for the most part, you can't get Heracross, and I was devastated for it. And then they eventually made some events where you could get Heracross in raids, and I grinded those and managed to get 100 IV Heracross out of a raid in Pokemon Go. Then Heracross was available in pretty much all of the events now. They do like Pokemon Go Fest every year. Heracross is available. It was available in Hoenn or Johto Tour, all that good stuff. Heracross is a phenomenal Pokemon. It's based on those beetles like Scizor and like Pinsir. And a cool little detail I will note about Heracross is the creator of Pokemon liked playing with like those, like going out and finding those bugs and stuff when he was younger. I don't know the names of the bugs, but the two Pokemon, those like the most iconic of those and popular and rare of those two bugs are Heracross and Pinsir. And Heracross, I think, is such a cool Pokemon. Its first ever card, the Hollow Heracross from Neo Genesis of Heracross, and you can see I keep saying Scyther. You can see Pinsir's in the bottom corner, like they're facing off. It is a phenomenal card. Heracross, for me, is the best Pokemon so far we've done in this tier list. Look, we're adding a lot to S tier here at the end. Heracross, I think, is just so cool. I love the horns are for the male and female. The female's the heart. The male is like the spikes. It's just, Heracross for me is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. Without a doubt, Heracross is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. For sure. I really like its Mega as well. I think it's really cool, but Heracross on its own is just phenomenal. Teddiursa! Sneasel, I hate these things. I do not like these things. I'm putting them below Apom. I have never... Why do they look... Once again, they look so mad. They look mean. Weavile I like. Weavile's fine. Sneasel, though? I have never liked Sneasel. Sneasel, for me, is like... I just hate this thing. It has an EX from... EX Ruby and Sapphire base set. Such a disappointment. They could have picked any Pokemon. They picked a Sneasel. Just such a waste of an EX card. Sneasel sucks. I do not like Sneasel whatsoever. I'm not going to elaborate on this a bit anymore. I don't want to give Sneasel the time of day. Teddiursa and Ursaring, though. Teddiursa and Ursaring are easily... Sorry, by the way, when I'm swiping up now, I have to... There's so many Pokemon on the list. I have to put them there, then move them up more. So they're not going in B tier. They're going above that. Teddiursa and Ursaring, I have always really, really liked. There is a Dark Ursaring card from Neo... I keep mixing all the names up. Neo Destiny. There's a Dark Ursaring that I've always really wanted. It's a non-holo card. I've always really wanted it, though. I thought it was really cool. But Ursaring, for me, that might be the top of A tier. And Teddiursa, I'm going to put below... I'll put it above Gligar. I'll put Teddiursa there. Yeah, I'll put Teddiursa there. Reason why Teddiursa isn't higher. That thing almost killed us in the Nuzlocke. It almost took us out. Teddiursa is a cool Pokemon. Actually, you know what? No. Teddiursa did almost kill us in the Nuzlocke. You're going down to the bottom of A tier, Teddiursa. Teddiursa is a good Pokemon. You know what? We don't have very many in B tier. I'll put it up in B tier here. I'll put it there in B tier. Yeah, I'll put it in B tier there. Teddiursa's, it's cool. Actually, you know what? I always do this. I'm making the tier list, and then as I get to a spot like this, I want to go back. Murkrow, I'm bumping down. Yeah, I'm bumping Murkrow down. And everything else actually is good. Murkrow was just one. I didn't like how it looked there. I just feel it was a bad spot. But Ursaring, I have always liked Ursaring. Now, yeah, Captain Pikachu, yes, I'm shiny hunting after we complete this tier list. Don't worry. But, Ursaring, I have always liked. Now, I don't think it's A or S tier worthy, but Ursaring is definitely a top of A tier Pokemon for me. I've always really liked Ursaring. Now, Slugma and Magcargo. These two are pretty cool. Now, like the lava magma Pokemon. Now, I will note they're kind of just like basic Pokemon. They're not like some big, crazy, elaborate Pokemon. I like how they're like Magcargo's like a snail. Slugma, it has a really cool shiny. Slugma balls. Slugma's a really cool shiny. It turns gray. I think that is awesome, especially when you think of like molten lava and stuff, and how it turns gray afterwards as well. I think that's really cool. These two are definitely going up here for me. I'll put them up in B tier. Actually, I'm going to put Slugma up there, then Meryl, and then Magcargo. I think they're both cool Pokemon. Solid Pokemon. Magcargo didn't get a Mega, did it? No, Camerupt got a Mega. Magcargo didn't. Magcargo kind of... Isn't that something you think they could just add one extra bit? If they just want to go crazy with Magcargo, just give it an extra evolution, like a regional evolution, that could be really cool, couldn't it? Couldn't that be awesome? Shiny Slugma, though, is awesome. Shiny Magcargo, I don't think... It's like purple and blue, right? It's not the same gray. No, yes, purple. Yeah, I wish it was gray like the like Slugma, but it's fine. I'm gonna put him in B tier there. I think that's a solid spot for him. Then moving on, we have Tobo. Tobo. Now you might be thinking, Pokeplayer, what the heck are you talking about? Who's Tobo? You guys are gonna hear some of the lore. The Pokeplayer lore. Now, for those that don't know, I've mentioned before, I have a little brother. And me and my brothers and cousins have always played Pokemon. We've always liked Pokemon. Now, my one little brother, like when we first really started like hanging out a lot, we first started hanging out like a ton. We'd always play Pokemon. Like we hung out when we were like little. And like, cause our parents would like get us together and stuff. But there was like a stint there, like in middle school and stuff. Like none of us could drive or anything like that. So we really had no means of hanging out on our own. And so once we started being able to like drive and stuff and like actually go and hang out with each other whenever we wanted, like we would hang out all the time and always play Pokemon and that kind of stuff. And my littlest brother, I don't know why he did this, but all of a sudden he just started calling Swinub Tobo. And that name just stuck. When you guys hear me play Pokemon Unite, I talk to Mamoswine as Tobo. Like, it's not meant, like, the whole evolution line, like, it started with Swinub. Swinub is Tobo. But Swinub, Poliswine, and Mamoswine, Tobo. Don't ask where the name came from. I don't know how he came up with it. He made his own, but he has a Pokemon card. It's a Swinub Pokemon card, and he wrote Tobo over the name of Swinub. It's the funniest thing. But Swinub, yeah, Swinub's Tobo. Like, they're going S tier because of that. It's Tobo. Like, Tobo's S tier Pokemon is an S tier Pokemon for sure. Shout out Tobo. Moving on, now we have Corsola, another regional in Pokemon Go. I don't have it yet, but I think Corsola is a cool Pokemon. I like how it's based on like the coral reefs and all that stuff. And I will note, now, this isn't cool that it happened in real life, but like the coral reefs are like unfortunately dying in real life, and they gave the regional form of Corsola, I think the Alola one, it's like a ghost type, like the dead coral. Like, again, it's not cool that that's happening in real life, but that, like, the aspect, like, how they integrated that into it, like, is cool in or it's Galarian Corsola, my bad. It was like, it was cool that they did that. Again, it's not cool that the coral reefs are dying. I'm not saying that. But it's cool how Pokemon adapted that into the Pokemon. But again, that's not this Corsola. This Corsola is B tier for me. I think that's a good spot for bottom of B tier. I'm gonna leave it right there. I'll put it right there. We'll put it right there above Spinarak. Remoraid. Remoraid evolves into Octillery. I've never really liked Remoraid that much. I'm gonna put it in C tier. We'll put it just put it right there. Octillery's fine. I've never really liked it that much myself. Like, here's the thing. Octopuses are, like, if I'm not mistaken, the smartest animals in the world. Like, I think people genuinely believe these things are aliens. This might sound crazy, but I believe this is true. Human beings have never seen octopuses reproduce and have no idea how they reproduce. Absolute, like, that is one of the big mysteries in science. I'm going to look it up real quick just to make sure. Do we know how? Or maybe we do. Or is it baby octopuses? No, we do know how they reproduce. What's the thing with octopuses that we don't know? There's something about them we don't know. Oh no, it's eels we've never seen reproduce and have no idea how. Never mind, not octopuses, my bad. Eels. Wrong marine animal. My bad. But the octopus, dude, those are like the smartest things in the world, I'm pretty sure. Like besides humans, because we're conscious. But I don't know if octopuses are. I don't know if actually any animals or how many animals are. But nonetheless, they're like, people think they're aliens because of how mind baffling these things are. They're so crazy and cool. But octillery, like, where's the crazy cool stuff about that? Like, octillery is such a bland, boring thing. Like, it's not that. I don't like it that much at all. I saw this TikTok the other day. It was an octopus going along the like ocean floor. And it was like going through all these different like coral reefs and that kind of stuff. And like everyone knows that the octopus can change colors to like match its surface and stuff. This one I saw changed the texture of its body. So it went on a rock and the rock had like some spikes on it. And it goes on the rock, turns to the color, and the spikes pop out of his head. I'm like, I have no idea how this thing's capable of doing that. But it is so cool and so awesome. Just look this stuff up on YouTube if you want. Look up like cool octopus stuff. They are insane. There's some documentary about some guy that like befriended an octopus. Oh, what's it called? Let me look up. I've heard people talk about it. I've never seen it myself. My Octopus Teacher. This thing is supposed to be just insane and like highlight how crazy smart and absurd these things are. But again, Octillery, the Pokemon of it, is just, I mean, just not that great. Just kind of is bad. Then we have Delibird. Now, Delibird I've never liked, if I'm being honest. Now, I will note, Iron Bundle is phenomenal. Delibird, I've never really liked that much, so I'm going to put it down there in C tier. Mantine, you guys were asking me, someone was asking to put this up. Yeah, catch up. You were asking me to put this thing up high. I'm sorry. I don't like this thing. It's C tier. I got to put it in C tier. There's a reason as to why I don't like this thing that much. In Pokemon Go, when Johto first came out, this thing was available in 10k eggs. Pineco was too. I didn't hatch too many Pinecos though. I hatched so many Mantines out of 10k eggs in Pokemon Go. It made me so mad. I don't like Mantine that much because of it. It's based off a manta ray, which like stingrays and manta rays are some of my favorite animals of all time. I think they're so cool. But I don't know, just as a like, it's cool as a Pokemon. Here's a good way to describe Mantine. You look at Charizard. You look at Metagross. You look at Mewtwo. Those are like front and center, super cool and awesome Pokemon. A really cool thing with Mantine is if you in Pokemon artworks, for instance, say they're making a Lugia card of Lugia swimming underwater, and in the background they show all the different water type Pokemon. Maybe there's a Kingdra swimming, maybe there's a Corsola. There has to be a Mantine. Like, Mantine is such a cool Pokemon to see in the background of stuff. Like, you remember at the beginning of all the Pokemon movies and stuff, they show the world of Pokemon. They show the Pokemon flying in the air, they show the Pokemon running in the plains, and they show the Pokemon swimming in the ocean. Mantine's always one of the Pokemon swimming because it's a staple Pokemon of the water type, like ocean Pokemon. But on its own, it's not the best, in my opinion. Skarmory, I'm not going to put him in disgusting. I'll put him at the bottom of D tier. I've never liked Skarmory. It looks mean. I don't like that. And then it in Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go Battle League and Great League. Skarmory has terrorized me for so long. I just don't like this thing whatsoever. It's shiny's bad. It's a pain to catch in Pokemon Go. Just Skarmory isn't that great. One cool thing though, I believe it's Neo Revelation. The second set of the Neo era. Or no. Neo Revelation is the third. Is it Neo? Neo Discovery, maybe? Let me look it up. Neo. There is a Neo Discovery. No, Neo. It is Neo Revelation. Let me try to find this and show you guys. There's there's 3 artworks that go together. You have Lugia, Ho-Oh, and Skarmory. 3 non-holo cards from Neo Revelation. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. So look. I've shown this before in a video. So you have Ho-Oh, Lugia, and Skarmory. These 3 separate artworks on 3 different cards all come together to make the one card. Now, it's kind of, they kind of have it in the wrong order. It should have Lugia on the left, Ho-Oh in the middle, and Skarmory on the right. Because you can see in the big artwork there, you have Ho-Oh in the middle, Lugia on the left, and Skarmory on the right. You might be thinking, PokePlayer, how do you know that's the thing? Look at the corners of the cards. Can I zoom in? You can see Ho-Oh's wing in the top right there of the Skarmory card, which you see right there. Top right of the Skarmory card, there's Ho-Oh's wing. The Lugia card, top left, you see the Ho-Oh's claw in the Lugia card, you see the top right, you see Ho-Oh's claw in the bottom of its feathers. Top of Lugia, Ho-Oh's claw, bottom of its feathers. And then in Ho-Oh, bottom right, you can see Skarmory's wing. Skarmory's wing. Bottom left, you can see Lugia. Barely his head. Barely Lugia's head right there. Like, that small detail right there, I think is so cool. If I'm being honest, though, that's the only thing Skarmory has got going for it. Besides that, like, I don't really like it too much. Down in D tier. Now we have Houndoom and Houndour. Or Houndour and Houndoom. They've had some cool cards. I think it's Neo Revelation. Houndour has a cool holo card that's pretty valuable. Houndoom's had some pretty cool cards over the years. I've never really liked these too much myself, though. I'm going to put them up in... I think some people might be mad if I put them in B tier. So I'm going to put them bottom of A tier. Like, I've never really liked them too much. They're fine, but I personally, I don't know what it is. I've just never been the biggest fan of these. I never thought they were that cool. You would think, like, Houndoom's a pretty, like, gnarly looking Pokemon. The, like, horns coming out of its head, the wicked tail, like, the kind of, like, spikes almost on its back and around its ankles, but, like, I don't know. Dark Fire type, just... like, it's got everything going for it, but I don't know. I've never been the biggest fan of it myself, personally. Moving on, though, we have a Pokemon I am a big fan of. Kingdra. Kingdra is just, oh my gosh. Dragon Water. Swift Swim. Kingdra's going up here above Espeon. Ooh. Yeah, Kingdra's above Espeon for me. Kingdra is so cool, man. What's it? I think it's Shiny's, no, Shiny's purple. It has a fine shiny, but just Kingdra's just, just an awesome, awesome Pokemon. What isn't there to like about Kingdra? Like, the Seahorse Dragon Pokemon has Swift Swim, super strong, Scald, Hydro Pump, all this crazy stuff about it. Dragon Breath, like, Kingdra's so cool. I don't know if it's ever had any cool cards over the years, though. Like, most of these cool Pokemon I've, like, that has this card or has that card. I don't know if Kingdra's ever had, like, some really cool card. Like, yeah, there isn't really any that stand out to me that I'm like, oh, this is a really awesome card. Did it ever get an EX? Ooh, it did! EX Dragon Kingdra. Okay, yeah, Kingdra's cool. Kingdra's, no doubt, S tier. Easy, S tier. Gen 5 rain teams, yeah. A staple of rain teams all over the place. For me, it's Ludicolo Kingdra. That's the duo I run. No, actually, Pelipper, Ludicolo, Kingdra. Pelipper, Drizzle with Damp Rock. Kingdra and Ludicolo both rock and Swift Swim. So much fun to use. Everything about Kingdra is just so awesome. Now we have Fanfy and Donphan. These two I like. I've always liked these guys. I'm putting them S tier as well. Like, these are just Pokemon I have always loved. I've always thought they were so cool. I'm not going to put them above Tobo. I'll put them just below Tobo. But I've always loved these two Pokemon. They're so cool. Fanfi's the name, right? That's not the name? Fanfi and Donphan. Fanfi's super cool. Donphan's super cool. I love how Ash had one on his team. I love how they got the regional forms. I love how they got the am I saying Fanpy? It's not Fanpy, it's Fanfi. Donphan. Fanfi. Is it not Fanfi? Am I saying it wrong? Pokemon needs to make a thing. You know how on Google, when you can Google words and it tells you the word, they have to do that with Pokemon. Fanpy. I've always said Fanfi. Yo, Len, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Is it really Fanpy? I've always said Fanfi. I can't say Fanpy. There's no way. I'm going to go crazy. It's Fanfi for me. And Donphan. These things are so cool. I remember when the game first came out, or when Gen 2 first came out in Pokemon Go, driving around catching a Donphan. These are just super cool Pokemon. I love the tusks for the male-female for Donphan. The male tusks are super long. The female tusks are shorter. I love Great Tusk and Iron Treads. I mean, just super, super cool Pokemon. Easy S tier for me. Then we have Porygon 2. Now, Porygon 2 is kind of like, it's cool. I've never really loved these Pokemon that much myself. I'm going to put it in A tier, though. I'll put it above Houndour and Houndoom. And below How Do You Do Not 2. The colors are cool on it. Like, the red and blue go good together. And I like the concept behind it. Like, it's with, like, as computers got better. Like, you went from, like, you could say, like, a 2D, like, 8-bit sprite. Like, a 3D 8-bit. Or, like, no. 8-bit is like Porygon. Then Porygon 2 is like 3D sprite. And then Porygon Z is like the big, like the beyond what we even have now. So I think they're cool. I like the concept behind them. They're just cool looking Pokemon. Stantler. I mean, I've never really liked Stantler. I'll put him down there in D tier. Never been a big fan of him myself. Then we have Smeargle. Now Smeargle, I've never really liked either. I'm going to put it in C tier below Delibird. I've never been the biggest fan of it. Tyrogue, I've never liked that much myself. I joke and say it's Mew 4 because he kind of looks like Mew 2. So I've never really liked him that much. Actually, I'm going to put Tyrogue down in D tier. I've never really liked him that much myself at all. Hitmontop, like, Wolfie won Worlds with this thing, but I don't really think it's that great and that cool. I'll put it down the bottom of C tier. Then we have some baby Pokemon. Now, there's some cool baby Pokemon in here. Tyrogue up in B tier. Nah, I don't like Tyrogue. It looks so weird. You guys like Tyrogue? I've never really liked it that much myself. Yo, Bugdy, thank you for tuning in. I don't know. I've always thought Tyrogue looks weird. It's just so, like, bony and kind of creeps me out. He's wearing, like, shoes, too. But elaborating on the baby Pokemon a bit. Shiny Tyrogue. What does Shiny Tyrogue look like? I swear if I look up this Shiny Tyrogue and it's bad... Yeah, I'll look it up right here. Hang on, what's going on? Shiny. Ooh, hang on. Shiny Tyrogue is pretty cool. You're right. It does have a good shiny. Like, whoa. I don't think I've ever seen this before. You know what? You guys changed my mind. Tyrogue's going up. We're moving Tyrogue. You're right. You guys are right. Congratulations, Tyrogue. You're going up in B tier. That is a cool shiny. That shiny is really cool. We'll put it up there in B tier. Let's put him up there. There. Shout out Tyrogue. But now Smoochum. Smoochum sucks. I don't care what anyone says. I don't like this thing. F tier. Magby. Magby, I've never liked. Top of D tier. Elekid. Elekid's one of the best baby Pokemon there is. Elekid is without a doubt an A tier Pokemon. We're putting it up here. Ooh. Which did I put higher on my baby Pokemon tier list? Elekid, or I don't even remember where I did on my own tier list. I want to put Elekid above Togepi. Let me look myself. Oh my god, I put Togepi above Elekid. Crap. Well, there we go. Togepi above Elekid. Togepi's above Elekid then. I love... Nah, did I really? Well, that was in terms of just baby Pokemon, and Togepi's like the epitome of baby Pokemon. Elekid I'll put above Togepi. Elekid's cool. I really like Elekid. Thank you with Smoochum. Finally someone gets it. Dude, Smoochum sucks. People actually like that thing? Look at it. It sucks. Magby I've never liked either. Elekid is awesome, though. Miltank, I've never liked this thing. Oh, Whitney's Miltank? No, thank you. I've always thought it was weird. Why do the udders have to be like those massive nips hanging off that thing? Yeah, we don't need that on Miltank. No, thank you. I don't like Miltank that much. I'll put it above these guys, though. I'll put it at the top of F tier. It has a cool shiny, too, though. Blissey, I've always liked Blissey. I've always thought Blissey was cool. Blissey's A tier for sure. I'll put it above Shuckle and below Crobat. You guys probably saw what was it? EX Ruby and Sapphire base set. I think it might have been the first pack opening I did of 2023. The first pack opening I did last year, I opened up a Spanish pack of EX Ruby and Sapphire base, and I pulled a EX Blissey that I didn't even know existed. On the database I look at, for all the different Pokemon cards from each set, they have the EXs, it's like a row of EXs, and I never noticed there was one Blissey, like, just above in the row next to these other cards. I never even knew the thing existed. When I opened the pack, I'm like, wait, what is this card? I had to look up the set list. I'm like, oh my god, there is an EX Blissey. I never knew that was a thing. Has a really cool holo in the Neo era, like Neo Genesis as well. So Blissey's a cool Pokemon. I like Blissey, up there in A tier. And now we get into some of the fun stuff. We have the legendaries, mythicals, and pseudo-legendary. Or I should say, legendaries, mythical, and pseudo-legendary. Starting off, we have the legendaries here with Raikou, Entei, and Suicune. Now, Raikou is my least favorite out of the three. Raikou, I'm going to put up in A tier. I'll put Raikou right there. Yeah. I've never liked Raikou that much. I've never been the biggest fan of Raikou. Some people might be hating on where I put him right there. I've just never liked Raikou too much. Entei and Suicune, though? Oh, yeah. S tier, easy. Easy S tier Pokemon for sure. Suicune's going up here. I like it more than Espeon. I like it more than Kingdra. Ooh, don't know if I like it more than Steelix, though. Entei. You know, I want to flip those. I want to do this. Do I like Scizor? I like Scizor more than Azumarill. Typhlosion, Entei. Do I like Typhlosion more than Entei? I don't know. Entei's cool, but it's Typhlosion. I'm going to leave him like that. We'll do Entei, Typhlosion, then Kingdra, Suicune. I like those. I like the solid like that. The three legendary beasts, legendary dogs, whatever you want to call them, the lore around them with the temple that burned down. There was a Jolteon Vaporeon and Flareon in the temple. They died in the fire that when the temple burned down. Ho-Oh came down and like granted them life and created Suicune, Raikou, and Entei. Thought that was really cool, like the lore around all of that. We got the Paradox forms of them with Walking Wake, Raging Bolt, and Gouging Fire with Paradox, Suicune, Entei, and Raikou and Pokemon Scarlet with the past forms of them. Everything about them is so cool. Some of the most iconic legendary Pokemon of all time. Suicune's without a doubt my favorite. I liked how they were integrated into the movies. Suicune was in the Celebi movie. Entei kind of had its own movie. I believe it was the movie with Ash and Entei, or kidnapped Ash's mom, if I'm not mistaken. That was the one where I was mentioning earlier with the unknowns. Raikou, I don't recall ever seeing it in a movie, but like I said, Raikou personally isn't one of my favorites. The other two, though, I really, really like. But moving on now, we have Larvitar, Pupitar, and Tyranitar. Now, Larvitar and Tyranitar are awesome. Pupitar I've always thought was kind of odd. I don't really get Pupitar. Like, those are the main three evolutions. Yeah. Super, you didn't know? That's like the lore around them. Yeah, it was like the three evolutions died, and then Ho-Oh made them those three. If I'm not, I'm pretty sure that's how it went. Pupitar I'm putting at the bottom of A tier. Like, I don't know what it is. It looks like Pineco. Is like Larvesta like turning into an egg or something like that? Like, or Larvitar. Like, I mean, like you look at Larvitar and you see a Larvitar has like the red on its stomach. Then Tyranitar has the gray on his stomach. Is Tyranitar's gray what Pupitar is? I mean, I don't really know. Pupitar's always kind of confused me. Because you look at like Beldum, Matang, Salamence. You look at Dratini, Dragonair, Dragonite. You look at Dino, Zwelios, Hydreigon. You look at pretty much every pseudo-legendary evolution line. The only one that's kind of Bagon, Shelgon, Salamence, you could kind of argue is a little weird. But it kind of, the lore with it kind of makes sense. I don't really know the lore with these three here, or these two here. Like, doesn't really, I don't get the Pupitar part of it. But these two, though, like, Larvitar, easy A tier Pokemon. Putting them up there. I'll put them below Totodile. Then T-Tar's S tier. Like, T-Tar is a easy S tier Pokemon. Above Steelix. I don't think I like T-Tar more than Heracross, though. I think I'll put Heracross above T-Tar. But, like, Tyranitar is... It has every weakness you could imagine. Yet it's always relevant in battling. In OU, like 1v1s, singles, and in doubles. I should have just said doubles and singles. In singles and doubles, this thing somehow always manages to be relevant. I don't get it. It is just, Tyranitar is just crazy. It has every weakness, but it's so cool. The OG Godzilla Pokemon, Tyranitar is just the Dark Tyranitar, the Shining Tyranitar, the two cards from Neo Destiny, all the different Tyranitar cards we've gotten over the years. I have a Aquapolis Tyranitar reverse holo of him like walking through some jungle in a rainforest, or a rainforest in a lightning storm. Like, Tyranitar's had some super cool cards over the years. Just in Obsidian Flames, Tyranitar had the EX, or there was the Terra Electric EX Tyranitar, which is a throwback to the EX Sorry, I'm getting the names wrong. Sorry. In Obsidian Flames, we had a Tyranitar Terra Electric EX card, which was really, really cool. And you could say a throwback to the Tyranitar EX Delta Species card that was Electric Delta Species from EX Dragon Frontiers, my favorite set of all time. So, Tyranitar, I could go on and on. The shiny sucks, I will know that. It has a bad shiny. I don't really like it too much, but Tyranitar I think is, I mean, one of the best Pokemon there is. Then the final three. The two box legendaries and the mythical Celebi. We'll do Celebi first. I've always liked Celebi. Honestly, like, so there's a lot of mythical Pokemon. Like, if you go through each gen, I believe, like, the myth, like, there's the box legendaries and there's other legendaries. Then there's, like, the mythical, then other mythicals. I believe it goes for each gen. Like, you think of, like, almost like the squishy Pokemon. I think they actually even made a box that was, like, the squishy box for Pokemon cards during Sword and Shield to kind of, like, hit home that name more. But it goes Gen 1 Mew, Gen 2 Celebi, Gen 3 Jirachi, Gen 4, Shaman. Gen 5, Victini. Gen 6, Hoopa. Gen 7, I think it's Marshadow. Gen 8, I believe it's meant to be Zarude. And then Gen 9 is the new thing. Pecharunt. Or Pecharunt. Pecharunt is the newest one. It might not be Zarude for Gen 8. I might have got that wrong. And it might not be Marshadow for Gen 7. It might be Zeraora. I don't know. Gen 7 and Gen 8, I'm not sure exactly. All the other, like, the other ones, like Mew, Celebi, Jirachi, Shaman, Victini, Hoopa, like, those are locks. I'm positive about that. Like, that category of mythicals, Celebi's the best one in my opinion. I really like Celebi. I'm not going to put it, like, crazy high up. I'll put it above... I'll put it above Umbreon. Nah, I'll put it below Umbreon. I'll put it below Mew. Mew. Unknown. Nah, I'll put it above Unknown. Let's put Celebi right there. Celebi's a cool Pokemon. I really like Celebi. In comparison to other mythicals, Celebi sucks. You don't like Celebi? Celebi's had some awesome cards over the years, too. I could just run through the list. Shining Celebi, Neo Destiny. You had Crystal Celebi from Skyridge. You had Gold Star Celebi. I don't know what set that's from. Shining Celebi again in the Shining Legends Super Premium Collection box. Like, Celebi's had so many cool cards over the years. It's just... Celebi's an awesome, awesome Pokemon. I love Celebi. The movie it was in was cool, too. Everything about Celebi's super cool. Ho-Oh! Ho-Oh is cool. I like it. Like, solid legendary Pokemon. One of the best legendary Pokemon of all time. Iconic legendary Pokemon. I'm going to put it just below... I think I might like Celebi more than Ho-Oh. So I'm going to put Ho-Oh right there. Ho-Oh is really cool. I definitely like Suicune more than it. Actually, you know what? No, let's bump Ho-Oh up. See, it gets hard at the end here. Like, I don't, like, they're in this tier, Ho-Oh's S tier, but, like, in terms of which goes where, I'm not too sure. It gets kind of hard. We'll put a Ho-Oh right there. I think that's a good spot for it. It's a cool Pokemon. I love in the first episode of the anime, we saw Ho-Oh for the first time. Like, that was so cool, seeing it all gold. But there's another legendary Pokemon from Johto that, is my favorite legendary Pokemon of all time. Lugia. This has been, from the jump, I knew a lock in God tier. Lugia is my favorite Johto Pokemon. Lugia is my favorite Gen 2 Pokemon without a shadow of a doubt. Lugia is just, like, the allure and lore around him, I just, like, I don't know. It's just different to me. It's just special to me. Lugia is... my favorite legendary Pokemon. My favorite Pokemon from Johto. I've a Lugia figure I've had from when I was little. I literally have this. I got this a while ago, and I just have it. I've had it sitting here for like a year. I don't know where to put this thing, but look at it. It's a giant Lugia figure. It's just so cool. Like, Lugia is so awesome. My favorite Pokemon card of all time is Crystal Lugia. A Lugia card. Like, I could go on and on and on and on and on about Lugia, but I don't want to sit here and bore you guys too much with that. But Lugia is my... I've said Lugia like 30 times, I feel like, in the past 30 seconds. But it's my favorite legendary Pokemon of all time and easily my favorite Pokemon from Johto. But looking back now, we've completed the tier list. I'll rank the Megas real quick. I'm not going to put them in the thing, but we'll just do them like in order down here. Let's see. We have Tyranitar, Heracross. I think that's the order in which I'd put them in if I ranked the Megas. Tyranitar, Heracross, Scizor, Steelix, Ampharos, and Houndoom. Again, I didn't put them in the actual tier list because, like, these didn't come till Gen 6, and I wanted to just do Gen 2 with this right here. And I'm happy with this. I'm like how the tier list came out. We'll roll through it here real quick at the end. Do a little, like, little spiel here at the end. I might make this a short, so we'll do, like, an intro thing for it here. I ranked every Generation 2 Pokemon there is. Or I might say it a different way. I ranked every Johto Pokemon there is. There we go. Get an intro there for that. Then we'll roll through it here. at the end. Down here at the bottom, we have Disgusting tier with Apom and Sneasel. Hate those things. F tier, we have a bunch of Pokemon that are just, simply bad. D tier are some Pokemon that are below average. C tier are average with Pineco, and I'm drawing the blank on the names. C tier, we have some average Pokemon with Lantern and Blossom. Then in C tier, we have some average Pokemon with Lantern and Blossom. B tier is where we get into some of the above average Pokemon, some of the good ones, Slugma, Chikorita, Teddiursa, all those are pretty cool. A tier is where we get into some of the really cool Pokemon. Shout out Wobbuffet, Totodile, Ursaring, Wooper as well, some awesome Pokemon up there in A tier. S tier, though, is where the heavy hitters are. S tier, Heracross, Tyranitar, Steelix, Celebi, Typhlosion, Espeon, Umbreon, Kingdra. There are so many cool Pokemon in Johto. S tier is absolutely stacked. But at the very top, in God tier, we have what I believe to be the best Pokemon from all of Johto, Lugia. Lugia, in my opinion, is the best legendary Pokemon there is, and without a shadow of a doubt, the best Pokemon from Johto. And that is the tier list. What do you guys think of it? Hope you guys enjoyed the stream here. Running through the tier list, I had fun doing these. I was thinking, we haven't done a tier list in a while, so I should probably do another one sometime soon. And here we are. Did another tier list. Had fun doing this. We went through all 100 Pokemon. I believe there's 100 exactly from Johto. And we did all 100 of them. And I'm happy with how this tier list came out. I think what I might try to do, we should do each generation. So we've already done Kanto. Like, that's something we did before. But then, how many Pokemon are in each gen? Like, Kanto's obviously 151. And I want to look back. I wonder how long the Kanto one took compared to this one. Because the Kanto's 151. That's 50% more than this one. Actually, technically 51% more. Dude, I got a Noibat and a Froakie here. Not shiny. Let me check real quick. Let me check the Pokedex. So Hoenn's 135. So, and is Sinnoh, how many are in Sinnoh? I have 101. I'm missing 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106. So, Sinnoh isn't that much either. So, yeah, I think maybe once a week we should do like a tier list of each gens and then go through each gen. I think that'd be fun, but this is the tier list we did this week. Like I said, we haven't done a tier list in a while, so I better come out and do one. I am not done streaming. I am going to end this stream. I'm going to go eat something real quick. So give me about like 15 minutes. Probably about, so it's 2:06 right now. At 2:30, I will go live once again. I'll schedule the stream right away. At 2:30, I will go live once again, and we're going to begin shiny hunting Hawlucha. I was telling you guys, and like, we were looking around for some other shiny Pokemon, and I kept seeing Hawlucha. I'm like, I gotta shiny hunt Hawlucha. So that is what we will be doing for the rest of the day today. And then again, there will be a Unite stream tonight. But I'm gonna end this stream right now. I'm gonna go eat some food. Then we'll be back in about 20 minutes, and I will be doing the Hawlucha shiny hunt. That is all for this stream, though. I thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the Johto Pokemon tier list. That is all. Thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, God. I'm dying. My voice just... I was talking for 2 hours straight right there. Normally when we do the shiny hunts and stuff, you know, I go quiet for a little bit. I just talked for 2 hours straight right there, and my voice just gave out at the end. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe, and this is the Pokemon